The codes of light you carry inside anchor a new way of life. Heart-centered being, awareness and seeing. You are out on the leading edge.
Hello and welcome to my channel Soul Journey. Today I wanted to talk about something that was kind of ruminating in my mind, and I felt like I wanted to share it with you guys. So today we are going to be talking about this idea of everything has its time and its place, but not getting attached to these things. I was thinking about the idea of crystals and how a lot of people use crystals as a crutch, oftentimes feeling like they can't function without their crystals. And crystals are amazing. Like, crystals are extremely healing and wonderful, but the thing is it's important to not take whatever tool you're using, whether it's tarot, crystals, religion, whatever, to then become a crutch for you not stepping into your own power. And a lot of people, I think, kind of, go one way or the other. They go, I don't want to use any tools, I don't want to use anything because I want my own power. And then people are like, we use tools, we use magic, we use herbs, whatever that is. And so I think it's really important to understand that all things have a time for use and then have a time of letting go. This came to my mind when I saw a post on Facebook just a bit ago about, are you feeling stressed? Are you feeling drained? Use black tourmaline. And I was like, wow, wouldn't it be cool, when we're in a world when everyone knows, we can use crystals, we can use these things. And then my second thought was, but what if that turns into us just using that instead of medicine or religion or whatever? Like, what if that just becomes the other, crutch for us not becoming empowered in ourselves? And so I was kind of thinking how, like, everything is like that. I think of religion as being like that. 2,000 years ago, these prophets came down to tell us about divinity and power of attraction and all of these things. And they explained it in the way we could understand it 2,000 years ago, where our consciousness was at. And then we took that and made it something that had to be for all time. Instead of understanding that, we learn what we learned in first grade and then we learn what we learn in college. And if you just took what we learned in first grade as fact and just taught it all forever, we wouldn't learn anything. We need to understand that different lessons and tools, are important for different parts of the journey. When I first start talking to someone about a spiritual practice, I always say, yeah, get some crystals, get an oracle deck, because those tools are awesome for understanding energy, tapping into your intuition, understanding that certain things affect energy. They're great tools for opening that up. It's a way we can learn that we are not victims, but in control of our reality, and we can start understanding how things work. But as soon as you start putting the power in the tools, instead of understanding that it's ultimately coming from you and all that is, it starts to become just another crutch. It starts to becoming just another attachment. And so it's important to understand and recognize when the tool is no longer being used as a tool, but as a crutch. And this comes with mindfulness, and it comes with understanding where you're at. At certain points in my practice, I would feel so off and be like, I need to wear my crystals when I go out because I won't be able to function. Then I realized I'm not learning to ground myself. I'm not learning to heal myself. And I realized that that was the time to take off the crystal and understand where my power was. And so it's important to understand that these tools are amazing. And, I have crystals all around me. We have all of these things to build the energy so that we're not constantly having to focus all the time. But understanding that they are just a guide, just a way for us to understand that we are one with the crystal ultimately. Ultimately, it is in the illusion of separateness to think that the power is just the crystal when we are all the universe. That crystal is me. The deck is me. The religion is a concept based around my experience. And it's ultimately just a story about an experience. And it's important to understand that we can use these tools, but not only use them. and understand that we are ultimately the conscious piece creating our reality. It doesn't matter how many crystals you have around you. If you're not going to hold your own and take responsibility for your feelings and emotions and allow for the universe to bring you what you need, those crystals can only do so much. And so ultimately it's important to understand where the focus and the power is actually coming from, and to have a balance of those tools. So this is kind of just like a thought I had of understanding there's a time and a place for everything. And there's certain, weeks where I don't want to wear as many crystals because I'm working on myself. And then there's other weeks where I'm just really enjoying the feeling of the crystal and I understand the relationship I have with them. And so I have lots of crystals around me and it can be really good. It's also good when you're feeling off and you're not feeling like you can focus as much, to use those tools to bring yourself to a space where you can then take over. You can now say, okay, I am now taking responsibility. It's a give and a take. It's like a spirit guide. They're going to give you guidance and things, but ultimately you have to choose your path. You're the one living this life. They can guide you, but you're on the path. And that's how all spiritual tools work. It's important to understand that sage works the way it does, how selenite works the way it does, all of that. But it's also important to understand that when you're out and you feel that negative energy at you and you don't have the crystals, it's important to understand how to cleanse yourself. It's important to understand that you could be without anything and you could still do all the things that these tools help you do if you really have gotten to a point of understanding yourself and how intuition feels and trusting your ability. Because ultimately these things are all just a reflection of your personal ability. So I just wanted to say that. I was feeling very passionate about it, and it's something that I work on every day to create that balance, because I love my tools. I really love using them. I love having decks. I love having crystals. I'm a Taurus. I can appreciate things, but not at the expense of my own power, and I'm learning to have that balance every day. And it's really exciting. So I encourage you to tap into what feels best for you and what feels good, and understand that your creative power comes from within you, and that these tools are here for you to use, but they ultimately aren't the ones with the power. So I hope you have a wonderful day. If you like this video, please give it a like and hit subscribe if you want to see more videos like this. Or if you want to check out my other social media, the links to that are in the description down below, along with my Etsy shop and my GoFundMe. Many blessings, namaste, and don't forget, it's all about the soul journey. Bye!